Good morning, everybody. New South Wales yesterday, we had 120,000 people that came forward to get vaccinated, and we can't stress enough how important it is for that to continue. We're now at 5.7 million jabs in New South Wales, which is 55% first dose across the population, and nearly 30% are fully vaccinated now in our state, and we desperately need to keep these numbers going up. Unfortunately, overnight, we did see an increase number of cases, 825 in the community, with at least 58 of those infectious during the entire time. Tragically, 3 people lost their lives overnight, a man in his 80s, a man in his 90s and a female in her 90s, and we extend our deepest sympathies to their loved ones, and Dr Marianne Gale will comment in greater detail on those issues. The suburbs of concern in Greater Western Sydney and southwestern Sydney remain the same, and we urge everybody in those communities just to appreciate that every day they set foot out of their house, they should assume they're going to come into contact with somebody who has the virus, and that is a fact. It's not just an assumption. So Blacktown and the surrounding suburbs, Auburn, Gilford, Merrylands, Yagoona and Greenacre. And of course, our concern remains high in relation to Western New South Wales, and the Deputy Premier will speak about the regions. We have seen a stabilisation and lowering of cases in parts of regional New South Wales, but that far northwestern part of the state remains a very, very grave concern. Can I stress again how important it is for us to focus on getting our vaccination rates up? We know that vaccination is preventing hospitalisation and vaccination is preventing death. And no matter what any of us say, the Delta strain is like nothing Australia has seen before. And even in very strict and harsh lockdowns, the virus is spreading. And that is a fact. So what we need to do is protect ourselves and our loved ones by staying at home and also by getting vaccinated, but also being assured that once we hit that 70% double dose vaccination, that 80% double dose vaccination, our national plan says we live freely or more freely than what we are now. And that is absolutely what we need to stay focused on. I was very pleased to learn that overnight, Service New South Wales sent 1 million texts. 1 million text messages went to people 16 to 39 years of age in those local government areas of concern in Greater Southwestern and Western Sydney to allow them to get priority access to the vaccine. And we urge everybody to come forward. I understand we've already had 230,000 bookings with the extra Pfizer vaccine that we received, and we want to make sure that everybody takes up the opportunity to get vaccinated, especially, of course, in those local government areas of concern. We're also making sure that across the state, not only that people have equal access to vaccines, but that everybody moves forward together to make sure that communities are protected. Because when we do start opening up, we don't want the unvaccinated to be unprotected. Everybody should get vaccinated now. Don't be fussy on the vaccine. Go forth and get vaccinated with any vaccine that is offered to you. But please make sure you do it as soon as possible to protect you and your loved ones, but also to make sure that we get quicker to our goals. At this stage, if current rates of vaccination continue, New South Wales gets to 70% double doses by the end of October and 80% double doses by mid-November. And of course, if we work harder and faster, we can bring those dates forward. And I'm looking forward next week to talk about what our plan for schools looks like, also what we can do in terms of offering people a bit of relief once we get to the 6 million jabs. So I extend to everybody my deepest appreciation. The vast majority of people are doing the right thing. The vast majority of people get how important it is to stay home, and I receive messages every day from people who express their personal circumstances about how difficult it is. And it really breaks my heart hearing some of the stories, but the bottom line is they know they're doing it for the greater good. And I just appeal to everybody, please consider the greater good. Only a handful of people are doing the wrong thing, but it's having catastrophic consequences. And we really need to make sure that by the time we start opening up, the case numbers are as low as we can get them, because then that means we're not leaving the unvaccinated vulnerable. And we want to make sure that nobody who wants to get the vaccine doesn't get the vaccine before those dates. So please come forward and get vaccinated. Dr Gail will give the health update. Deputy Premier will talk about the regions. Deputy Commissioner Warboys will talk about police activity overnight, and unfortunately a few instances of people still doing the wrong thing, leaving areas of concern when they shouldn't be, entering mass gatherings when they shouldn't. And also then, of course, the Health Minister will conclude the updates, and then we'll take your questions. Thank you.